Following the American Civil War, which ran from 1861 to 1865, the United States focused on rebuilding the nation. This period of rebuilding is known as Reconstruction. Running from 1865 to 1877, Reconstruction was a complicated and tumultuous period in American history. The end of slavery faced great resistance from many white Southerners, and violence against former slaves was common. The Reconstruction Amendments were constitutional amendments ratified in this period that sought to secure the freedom and rights of freedmen. In brief, the Reconstruction Amendments were the 13th, 14th, and 15th Amendments. The 13th Amendment, ratified in 1865, ended slavery in the United States. The 14th Amendment followed, ratified in 1868. This amendment was the most involved of the three, guaranteeing all persons equal protection under the law and establishing the principle of birthright citizenship. The 15th Amendment guaranteed the right to vote, regardless of race or color. While each of these three amendments has its own complicated story behind it, the most critical point to note is that taken as a whole, these three amendments demonstrate a significant change for how Americans saw government. The first 10 amendments to the Constitution, the Bill of Rights, were limits on the power of the federal government. The theme throughout these first amendments was that the federal government was the threat to personal freedoms. The next two amendments, 11 and 12, were procedural. They simply addressed flaws in the way government was initially created. The Reconstruction Amendments were something different. All three were expansions of personal freedoms that had not been protected before. More importantly, all three amendments rested on the idea that the institution that would best protect these rights was the federal government. Instead of being seen as a threat to freedom, the federal government was here viewed as a defender of freedom. This tension between the federal government's role as either the destroyer of rights or the defender of rights has never been resolved and is still a fundamental concept that Americans argue about today.